So hello again, my name is Sonia Clark with the Diverse Charter Schools Coalition. We are a coalition of intentionally diverse by design charter schools. Our mission is to catalyze and support the creation and expansion of high quality diverse public charter schools through strategic research, advocacy, membership activities, and outreach. And thank you again to Charter Schools Capital for giving me the time and space to talk about the work that we do. And again, thank you for helping to sponsor our meeting that we had this past January. So one of the questions that we often hear about charter schools is that they are bad actors, in that they skim kids from the district, that they push kids out, and that they are a drain on the district system. And I would like to say no to all those points. Charter schools don't skim. It's a lottery-based system. So you put in an application and your name is drawn out of that. So there isn't the opportunity to actually skim. Schools don't push kids out. Vast majority are looking to actually increase student enrollment because uh, the way schools work, the charter schools work, is that their per pupil is actually counted on the students that are enrolled in school. So keeping your students in school is actually the most important thing possible. And then the last piece about a drain on the district funds. The fundamentally, the funds are to support students, not to support the district. So you think about it in that way, that we use the money to make sure that students are actually getting the best education possible for them. And whether that is a district school or a charter school, it's really the choice of the parents to make that determination, not the districts and how they may use those funds to support other things, including the bureaucracy of the district itself. And there was a recent article that came out researching that showed this as Newark as a case, that charter schools actually don't drain money from the district, and they actually have shown to draw in money to the district because of additional philanthropic support. When we talk about skimming and choice, we look at it in a school setting, we don't always think about it, take a step back and think about it in a larger context. So, for example, if a university such as Howard University is a thriving school, we don't say Howard is giving kids from Princeton or Yale or Columbia. We acknowledge and we celebrate the university that Howard is. And that was a choice for that student to go to that school versus a Columbia. And why should we reserve that for those at the college level? It should be actually part of our system from the get go, from pre K and up, that parents have that ability to choose a school that works best for them and in a way that actually can lead to creating even a greater sense of community, especially if they're looking at schools that reflect their values. One of the things that we talk about often at the coalition, internally with staff, but also with our members, is that what it means to be high quality. How do you actually define that? And in challenging the notion that quality is equated with being a school that looks a certain way, meaning it's a school that is middle class and it's white. And the older concept of integration brings up a lot of, for folks, negative connotations of forced busing, basically bringing Black and Latino kids to white suburban schools because that was considered better. And that's something that we don't want to replicate as a coalition, and recognition that when we talk about high quality and excellence, it's not in a framework of, well, we have to have a certain number of white students in the school and therefore it'll get better. It really is recognizing where students actually are and who they are and what they bring to the conversations that are happening in schools. And so just today, we were debating among staff about admitting new members into the coalition, new schools. We're going through our application process. And that was a conversation that we had about, are we saying diversity also has to be in the framework of whiteness? That they have to have a certain proportion of white schools to be considered, of white students to be considered diverse? And the answer is no, because diversity isn't from that particular viewpoint or framework. It's really looking holistically at everyone, not just against one type of person or representation and another. Because again, that's looking at things from a deficit mindset, and that I need to make sure that this student is better by sitting them next to this other student. And that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about diversity and equity. And frankly, representation, because we can't say better is really looking at one particular thing, meaning, again, we are a white school. That's not better. That is just a white school. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of the work that we do at the Diverse Charter Schools Coalition, specifically around charter schools and the intentional work that we're doing, not just in creating intentionally integrated school space, but also working hard to make sure that we are closing gaps, not just the opportunity gap, but also the empathy gap. Because for us to all get better collectively as a country, we have to know how to live and work together. That's one of our mantras. So please, if you have any questions, go to our website, take a look at our work, reach out to me personally. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for the opportunity for me to tell you about the Diverse Charter Schools Coalition.